Okay, our first SEC home game. I know our players are excited about that. Playing a very good Mississippi State team, one that in the past we've had a lot of very close games, a lot of very good games. When you look at them defensively, I think they're good up front. I think they're good at linebacker. I think they're very sound on the back end. Todd Grantham's our defense coordinator. We've got a lot of respect for him. We went against him numerous times at Georgia, when he was at Louisville. He always has his guys prepared. They play extremely hard, and they're sound offensively. It starts with a quarterback. We're very impressed with him. I mean, he's a true dual threat guy. He's like a running back, back in the backfield, which presents a lot of problems, with the +1 run game for defenses. He's got where he throws the ball. Extremely accurate when he has time. So there's going to be a big challenge for our defense. Special teams, very aggressive type special teams. They're not scared to fake, any kind of, whether it's punt, whether it's field goals, anything like that. So we got to be prepared in all those phases. So going to be a good one. Like I said, they're playing at a high level, and we expect it to be a good game. Questions?
Coach, the momentum that you guys have built coming off the last game offensively, what do you guys do as a staff, either during practice this week or even early in the game Saturday, to keep that momentum going?
Well, I think you just said it. Really for the first time all year, the offense got in a rhythm and was balanced, was able to run the football. I think the big difference was they hit some shots down the field, had some perimeter runs to go with it. And the quarterback was very efficient in the pass game, and probably the big thing is protecting the football. So they've got some things to build upon on that side of the football. The key is going to be continuing to be successful running the football. And if the offense can do that, then they're going to have a good opportunity to improve each week.
Gus, when you look at Sept from the first game through the last game, how much better has he gotten, and where particularly has he gotten better?
Yeah, well, I think he's gotten better in all phases. Decision making, his comfort with the offense, and everything that goes with it. I think he's getting to a point where he can react and not have to think about everything that goes with it. But I thought he played at a very high level last week. I was very impressed with when things broke down, his decision making. I think he scrambled for 2 third down conversions. He scrambled for a big one down there in the red zone, protected the football, showed a lot of toughness. He got hit a couple times, showed a lot of toughness. So, I think you'll have an opportunity to keep improving.
When you reviewed the film and got to look closer at what Malik did when he got out there, just what were your takeaways?
Yeah, well, the first thing you can see is he can make some things happen with his feet. I thought he did a very good job on our zone read where he threw the touchdown pass that got called back. I was very impressed with that. He needs more experience. I think it was good for him to get out there and get a complete quarter of work in. Because like I've said before, he's done a really good job in scrimmage type situations, up to this point. So it was really good for him to get out there, especially, him being our number 2 guy now. It was good for him. It was good for, Chip to be able to get him out there and get used to him a little bit, and, how he's going to react in certain situations. But overall, we were pleased with, the way he performed.
Gus, what has Cam Martin showed you when he's got an opportunity to play?
I mean, Cam Martin's got it done. When he's went out there, he had the big explosive run where he cut it back across midfield, had a really good jump cut in a pace situation to play after that. And he's a guy that he performs at a high level when he's in there, and he gives us a little bit different dimension when he's in there. His quickness, his explosiveness. He runs bigger than he is. He broke a couple tackles there that we were real impressed with too.
Has his performance, especially last week, given him the opportunity possibly to get more carries maybe early in the game, be part of the game plan?
It is a possibility. There's no doubt. And like I said before, him not getting the carries as much, it wasn't a sign of the coaches not having confidence in him. But he will definitely be a part, moving forward, and he should be.
How's he feeling physically?
What's that?
How's he feeling physically?
You know, he got a little bit banged up, but I think he'll be fine for this week.
How is that way? What's his situation?
He practiced Sunday, and so I'd say right now there's you know, a high likelihood of him playing. You know, I need to see him today in practice and all that, but he did practice Sunday.
He and Carry-On bring such different things to the table, so how good is it if you do, it's been a while since you had them both done?
Well, I think it would be a positive if both of them are healthy at the same time. We've not been able to play them both at the same time. So, you know, hopefully this will be the first game that could happen, and try to build upon those things.
Coach, how much do you take from Mississippi State game against Georgia because they didn't play like they played in the previous game with LSU?
Well, if you turn the LSU film on, I mean, it's big time impressive. I mean, on both sides of the football. You know, and I think everybody in this room knows LSU's talent level and what they're capable of. So, you know, last week they were on the road. You got to give Georgia credit. You know, they played at an extremely high level on both sides. They hit some plays early offensively, and they got after them pretty good. So each game's different. And I think everybody sees that in this league. Each game is different, and from a coach's standpoint, you have to expect you're going to get their best. I mean, every week, and that's the way we're looking at it. We expecting that we're going to get their best, and I mean, obviously, it'd be great to get off to a good start and all that. But they're a very good football team. You know, just look at them. I think they're probably one of the better teams in our league. I think that's fair to say, even though they had a tough one last week.
Can the conference level that you talked about, I think a little bit of offensive momentum, can that carry over?
Say it again.
Conference level
Competence?
momentum, can that kind of carry over?
Yeah, I think from our standpoint it has to. I mean, you know, our defense has been playing at an extremely high level, really establishing themselves as one of the better defenses. Our offense, for the first time, you know, actually played well in the run game and the pass game. So we got to keep building upon that thing, the things that we can be good at, and keep building upon that. And you got a chance to improve. And you know, my message to our team and our coaches is: you look in our league. You know, there's a lot of teams that'll be up high for 1 week or 2 weeks and then have a setback. The teams that have a chance to win championships in this league are the teams that can figure out a way to get a little bit better each week. Now, that's a hard challenge in this league, but that's the challenge that I've put on our coaches and our players. Find a way as a team to improve, even if it's just a little bit, each week. And, you know, if we can do that, then we have a chance.
Gus, how valuable was it to be able to play so many guys on defense, so many guys on the offensive line for an extended period instead of just a series?
Yeah, it makes all the difference in the world. From an experience standpoint, to get them out there, there's nothing like a game, especially in our league. If you get a chance to get guys that don't get a chance to play that much, you see what they do. It helps with your team morale. And then everything, of course, and then we already talked about the quarterback. I mean, it was huge to give him a good quarter of experience out there running the offense and getting to know him a little bit better. And I think that was huge. I think on the defensive side of the football, I think we had 7, you know, true freshmen out there that were playing, and that definitely helps. And then, of course, the offensive line, the number 2 offensive line really got a lot of work, and I thought that was good too.
Yes, you obviously been on it from the other side, but having a guy like Nick Fitzgerald, how much pressure does that put on a defense, knowing that?
Yeah.
And the RPO stuff they do too.
Yeah, it puts a lot of pressure because you know, it's a +1. You know, you can have an extra blocker in the run game when the quarterback's carrying it, and the fact that he's really fast. I mean, he's got a long stride, but he can really go, and you worry about the ones that just hit between the tackles and they hit quick. And you know, the last 2 years he's had some huge runs in between the tackles, and the RPOs that go with it obviously concern you. And you know, their run game. I mean, you know, I think they're one of the best rushing teams in college football right now. And I think that he has a whole lot to do with that. And I think their offensive line's good too. I mean, you watch how physical they played in the LSU game. It was very impressive.
Gus, what have you seen from Prince Tega from game 1 to game 4?
Yeah, I think Prince Tega is continually getting better each week. I mean, you're talking about a guy that this is his first rodeo, and from a line standpoint, there's a lot of moving parts. I think he's getting more and more comfortable each week. And the big thing that stands out to me about Prince is it's so important to him, and he is probably harder on himself than a coach would be. He takes things personal. He's got a lot of pride, and my experience is the guys like that, they have a chance, if they're talented like he is, they got a chance to be really good before it's all said and done.
I wanted to ask you about Jeremiah Denson, just how has he played for your defense?
Yeah.
And then what does it mean to have a player come back from an injury, be out basically a year and a half?
Yeah, Jeremiah really stood out to me the other night. He is like a coach on the field. He's got great instincts. That they do a lot of perimeter things that, off the run game, and it was like he was right there every time, when they had a chance for a big play potential on the perimeter. He tackled the guy behind the line of scrimmage on one. Really did a super job on another, but he's like a coach on the field, extremely intelligent. He is a good tackler, and the fact that he's coming off injury, I think, when you go through a year and a half of not playing and you have to watch, it does something for the guys that are really motivated. You think about Josh Holsey and the way he came back, and I think Jeremiah Denson is in a similar situation, and his urgency, he sees in the moment, and he's hungry, and he's been playing like that.
It's been more than, or nearly a year since you've had Cameron Petway and Kerryon Johnson 100% at the same time. It was actually going into the Mississippi State game, and then Kerryon got injured in that.
Yeah.
How frustrating has that been? Like during a season, it just seems like you can't get both 100% at the same time and have full.
As a coach, I think it starts with you're blessed to have two guys that talented, and if one's hurt, the other. What really got us really towards the end of last year is they both kind of got banged up, and so you'd like to see what they can do when they're both healthy. I'm hoping that's close. I'm hoping it happens this week, and both of them, they're different, but they're both extremely talented in their own way, and so we'll see what happens.
Gus, I wanted to ask you about the coordinators. Is there a reason they're not available this week? And
No, it was more of just wanted to put our leadership, 3 leaders out there in front. Nothing negative at all from that standpoint. They just really didn't feel like talking to media that much, so, and I respect that.
Will they speak to the media?
Yeah, they could. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. I wouldn't read anything into it.
Yes, Jeff Holland's a guy that the coaches talked about his leadership and kind of the way he had stepped up. But
Yeah.
watching him play this season, has he even maybe exceeded what you kind of have seen out of him?
That's definitely fair to say. Jeff is a guy that always played with a high motor. He plays a true freshman, a sophomore. He got better last year taking on the run, his physicality. And then this year he's really taken the next step as far as pass rushing and his motor. I mean, he's really a factor. He is that guy that the defense has to know where he's at in passing situations. And he's really raised his level. And so he's a big factor right now.
Last year against Mississippi State, Marlon had his first big breakout game. What do you remember from that game and how he stood out as a true freshman and how far has he come since then?
Yeah, I remember that game. We did a good job of putting pressure on the quarterback, and I think we did a good job stopping the run. That's really what I remember. And then, of course, we scored on defense, which was really big as far as that goes. But that was a good game for us. We played a very good game that game, and that really was starting to get in our groove about that time. So it'd be nice to do the same thing, this week.
You touched on Daniel Carlson after the game, but just how good was it to see him, put those 3 through, and how important is that going forward?
I think it's very important. Like I've said before, he puts a lot of pressure on himself and everything that goes with that. And I think he's just doing his thing now. I mean, I think that'll really help him moving forward. I mean, I think he averaged 8 yards deep in the end zone on his kickoffs, and that's a stat that gets overlooked a lot of times, just probably from the casual fan, but from a coach's standpoint, such a huge weapon, as far as that goes, and just that ability for a coach to, have confidence in a guy that it's past 50 yards. There's a high likelihood of him making it, and he drilled both of those, and that's a really good thing, moving forward.
What has it been about this series against Mississippi State where it's been back and forth over these last 5-6 years?
Yeah, what was it? 2011. 2010, we won the national championship as a 3-point game. In 2011, it went down to the last. They got stopped on the 1 foot line. 2013, we had to drive the field, and CJ caught it from Nick, almost on the last play of the game. And I don't know. It's just been a good rivalry. And Dan Mullen does a super job. He always has his teams well prepared, and it's just kind of turned into one of those rivalry games that's usually a good game when we play them.
Yes, punter was open last week, and then Ian Shannon, is it open again this week?
We're going to keep competing. We got to get better production, as field position as far as that goes. But we'll keep competing each week, and we'll see who the best is during practice, and we'll put them out there. I'm not ready to say right now, but that's my mindset.
Coach, you had obviously high expectations for your defense coming into the season. Have they even played beyond what you thought?
I think so. I mean, I think there's a stat that we've only given up one play of 30 plus or more, and I think that's the best in the country. I mean, that's a tribute to how hard our guys are playing. How disciplined they are. Our coaches are doing a super job, and their message is to keep improving. And like I said earlier, just even if it's a little bit. And that's the name of the game, and that's their mindset. And I think they've got a chance to really be a special defensive unit if they keep improving. And it's a big-time luxury to have right now from a coach's standpoint.